Is your Etsy shop a failure? How to know? Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, what is going on? Welcome back to the Handmade and Beyond podcast. I'm your host, LL. Glad to be back with you guys hanging out, talking about Etsy. And today I'm talking about a hot topic, which is failure. I think a lot of people mistakenly think that they are quote unquote failure, and they get frustrated, and you see it every day in message boards, and people take it out on Etsy or other sellers or whatnot. So I want to dive into this topic today, and it's a sensitive topic, and hopefully put a positive spin on it, right? Because we could all use a little bit more positivity, especially in the Etsy, the selling, the e-commerce world, the entrepreneurship world. It is not easy. It's very tough, as you know, if you've been doing it for a while. It can be a struggle sometimes, so you have to look at it glass half full, so to speak. So first of all, I want you to hear me on this. You are not a failure, and you can never fail if you never give up. If you keep trying, you keep chipping away at it, the first thing that you do, you're probably not going to be successful at, especially in the entrepreneurship world. Most successful entrepreneurs have failed dozens of times previously, and you're only seeing the success. You don't see the 8, 9, 10 failures or 10 business failures before that. So things may not be working or going to plan, which happens more times than not as an entrepreneur and business owner. You may not be growing or making sales, but that does not mean that you're a failure. It only means that you have to keep going and you have more work to do. The road may seem long, endless, and lonely, but what's at the end of that road is freedom, and is going to be exciting if you can keep chipping away at it and get there. So the only question is how long it will take you to reach the end of that road. And the answer for that is different for everyone. So with all that being said, let's talk about the problems and struggles Etsy sellers have, which makes that road longer than it should be. Today, my goal for you is to hopefully help you shorten that journey so you can reach some of your goals and your successes a lot sooner than later, because that's all what we want to do, right? We don't want to keep struggling for long periods of time. That's like smacking your head against the wall. So I'm going to preface all these things and all these points that I'm going to talk about with one overarching problem of no sales. All the things that I'm talking about are kind of a symptom of the no sales. We can assume that if you're frustrated and you think you're a failure, you are not getting sales. And the no sales, again, is the result of the things that I'm going to talk about. So you have to pull certain levers in your business to start to make an impact, which, all roads lead to more sales. That's how we basically deem if we're successful or not successful. So the first thing I want to talk about is how much time are you devoting to your Etsy business? You get what you put in, you get what you give, the old saying. So the caveat is you have to be strategic with your time and not just doing random stuff, but you have to put in the work. You have more time than you think you have. So, and I know you're busy. We have families, we have other responsibilities, we have a lot of things going on, but you have more time, and you have to find that time. And if it's important to you, you'll find the time. You'll cut out watching TV time. You'll work during breaks and lunches, which I did for years in my corporate job. I worked during lunches. I would bring my laptop. I would go to a coffee shop, work 45 minutes, 40 minutes, 3, 4, 5 days a week. That's a lot of time if you think about it. So most people will not do that, but those, the time is there. If you want it, you get up early a little bit before work, you stay up a little later. So you can kind of chip away at it. Even if it's 15, 20, 30 minutes, that stuff adds up. You can make big, huge progress in your business by chipping away those blocks of time. So sit down, plan that out, schedule it. It usually goes a lot better than just kind of doing it on a whim. Because life gets in the way. There's always distractions, but you can find that time if you really want to find that time. So most people that are frustrated, that feel like they're failing, are just not putting enough time into your business. If you're treating it like a hobby, if you're treating it like something that's not that important, you just want to do the bare minimum and see big results, then it's never going to happen. You got to treat it in a different way. You have to treat it like a part-time job and really dedicate time and resources to move it forward and pull those levers. The next thing I want to talk about is how many listings do you have? Chances are you need more. For the simple reason of it is somewhat of a numbers game. Obviously, quality matters and how you're doing things, the setup matters. But more listings, at a basic level, more listings equal more keywords equals more potential traffic and more potential sales. So you have to be strategic with the listings you're choosing, and that matters. A lot of the other things I'm going to talk about kind of roll up into that. Quality matters, doing your research matters, doing keyword research, your SEO matters. All those factors kind of play into that, but you need more listings. I see a lot of people that are like, I'm not getting any sales, I'm failing, and I go and look and they have 20 listings. I'm sorry, that's just not enough listings to make an impact. You're a drop of sand in the Mojave Desert, so you're competing with thousands and hundreds of thousands of other listings out there. So in order to make a bigger impact, in order for the algorithm to recognize that you're a player in that niche, in that space, you need more listings. The analogy I give all the time is if you're a shop and you're selling your baby items, I'm going to be really broad here, but if you have one baby item and your everything else is equal as far as your SEO, your ranking, and another shop has 50 baby items, who do you think that algorithm is going to send that listing to first? Or is going to show it to first? The shop with 50 baby items, because the chances are that customer is going to find something they like and buy is going to be higher than your one listing. And the algorithm only cares about making Etsy more money at the end of the day. So your goal is to leverage the Etsy algorithm to work for you and make you money as well as Etsy. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. The flip side of this is maybe you do have a lot of listings. Maybe you do have several hundred listings that are not seeing sales. There's a far bigger problem at play then. There's a lot of other factors that could be causing the no sales. For one, maybe there's no demand. Maybe you're in a niche that just doesn't have a lot of demand. And that will impact you. If you have a lot of listings for no demand, no one's going to buy it. So this is where product research, keyword research really kind of comes into play and is really important. The next thing is your listing setup. Maybe your listings just are not set up appropriately. You're not following the best practices. You're using the wrong keywords, not enough keywords. It could be your pictures. Your pictures are fuzzy. They're hard to see. Or it could be your pricing. So any of your listing factors, any of all those attributes and those things that kind of building that play into your listings could be impacting how they are performing and causing them not to perform well. Maybe it's a niche problem or a niche problem. If you're kind of all over the place, you don't have a niche, that is a problem. You have to have a defined niche to find success. If you don't have a niche, you don't know what it is, that is a huge, huge problem. Again, if you're trying to market and sell to everyone, you're going to market and sell to no one. So you've got to narrow down your niche. That's another thing that I see a lot of times. People just are not niched down enough. So think about what you're selling. Are you niche down, or are you just stuff all across the board where your shop kind of doesn't make sense? It's more like a yard sale. Not that people can't find good stuff at a yard sale, but for an e-commerce shop, it's not a great way to be able to capitalize on traffic and have the algorithm help and work with you. The next thing is, are you getting no traffic and no sales, or are you getting traffic and no sales? So there's two different problems. If you're getting no traffic, obviously you're not going to get any sales, right? Or you're going to get very few. But if you're getting traffic, a lot of traffic, or a decent amount of traffic, and you're getting no sales, then those are two vastly different problems. The first one is probably more of an SEO problem because you're not even pulling people in the door. The second one is another problem where they're seeing your stuff and they're not buying it. So it's probably more attributed to pricing, pictures. There's a reason that they don't trust you or they don't like the product enough to buy after they're seeing it. So that's what you have to think about too, and look at your stats and kind of see which kind of the two problems are causing it. All right, the next thing I want to talk about and move on to is, are you focused on too many things? So you see this a lot of times. People start a business, or they start a new shop, and they are just focused on too much stuff. They're trying to do too much. Most of the time, they need to narrow their focus on what's the one or two most important things. So new shop owners try to do everything at once. They try to do all kinds of social media. They try to do a bunch of different niches. They try to do just too much stuff at once. So it's a law of diminishing returns. If you try to focus on too many things, then all of them suffer. All the things suffer, and it's really kind of hard to move forward. So you got to give more energy. The more energy given to something, the better results you're going to have. So the reason you shouldn't have, this is a good reason why you shouldn't have multiple or a lot of goals, because you're never going to hit any of them. One or two goals or even one goal is really what you should have. So narrow your focus down into the one or two most important things you can do in your shop. If your shop doesn't have a lot of listings, focus on that. Don't focus on posting on social media. Don't focus on create a bunch of crazy other things. Focus on the one or two things that you think will get you quicker to getting more sales. And it varies depending on where you're at in your journey of your Etsy business. So you got to take a step back, look at your business, where it's at. What do you think is causing the lack of sales? And most people kind of have a good idea, depending on where they're at. And then that is what you need to focus on for the next several months to change and put a lot of energy into that so that you can make a bigger impact in your business and kind of turn the tide and start to change things around. But yeah, focus is a big one. There's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of things that people try to do all at once, which really kind of holds them back. So those are the main things that I see that causes shops to not do so well, that causes people to think that their shop is a failure. So certainly this is not the end-all be-all list, but it covers the main things, I think, and the core problems that lead to the frustration. And it leads to the things making things harder. So my goal for you is to start limiting that frustration, redirect that energy into something positive, and remember that this is within your control and yours alone. You can't count on other people to help you with this. You can't blame other Etsy or other people. You can control your outcome and the energy that you put forth into these things and kind of turn the tide. So take a deep dive into your business, kind of think about the things that I talked about and the things that you're doing or not doing, and make a plan going forward so that you can start to change things around and force the shop to do better by taking the consistent action and devoting enough time. And I promise you, if you do those things over the next couple months, you're going to start to see some results and some positive results. You're going to force it to work, force it to happen for you. All right, so that is it for today. Hopefully that helps you guys out. Don't forget to snag your free Etsy SEO success guide. Again, if you need help with SEO, you need other gold nuggets, tips, strategies, all in there for free. Everything you need to know about SEO and some other strategies that you can take action on today in your shop. You can get that at handmadeandbeyond.com/Etsy SEO success. Download that, take action. But that's all I got for today. I'll be back soon with another great episode for you guys. Have an amazing rest of your day.